Well, I know I say it every week, but it's another good week to be a Colorado Buffalo. Wouldn't you say out there, gang? Huh? The Buffaloes right now, the talk of not just college. Well, for goodness sakes, CBS's 60 Minutes was here this weekend. They're the talk of the world right now. Not just the college football world, not the sports world, but we welcome you into Buffs Primetime presented by Aflac. Get some help with the expenses that health insurance doesn't cover. Visit Aflac.com to learn more. It's Buffs Primetime here at the Post Chicken and Beer out here every Thursday from noon until 1 o'clock. It's streaming live on the CU Buffs Facebook and Twitter accounts, and it'll air later on tonight on the Colorado Football Network. As the Buffaloes are 2-0 in the season after knocking off the Nebraska Cornhuskers last week. Yep. In the home opener, 36-14, the Buffs are 2-0, ranked number 18 in the country. By the way, we're going to have our player guest today, Jimmy Hort Jr. is going to be joining us, wide receiver for the Buffaloes. We got Jimmy coming up, and also the offensive coordinator, Sean Lewis, is going to join. You guys ready for Coach Prime, though, to come out? All right, let's go ahead and welcome the head coach of your Colorado Buffaloes. He's led them to a 2-0 record, a number 18 ranking, Deion Coach Prime Sanders. We'll bring out to the stage here and have him join us. There he is, sneaking in. What do you say there, Prime? Good to see you. Man, oh, man, oh, man. Welcome.
How you doing?
Fantastic.
How's everyone?
Yeah. We're all great. Not as good as you, but we're all great, too, so.
Well, we're sharing in this, right?
we certainly are. That first home game, what was that experience like for you?
Last week?
Yeah.
It was phenomenal. It was a first for me.
Yeah.
You know, the spring game don't count.
Right.
But it was the first just feeling it. And I stayed the night before because I wanted to sleep in the stadium. And
you slept in your office?
Yeah, I wanted to wake up and see the transformation of it. Okay. And you guys showed up and showed out. And the energy, electricity, and the young men that we coach, it was amazing. It was nothing short of incredible. Only thing I missed, you know, because we're in there preparing, so we don't get to see Ralphie run.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I tremendously missed that. But other than that, it was incredible. It really was.
When you got, and I know that you've lived your life in a spotlight. You've been kind of in the public eye forever, but I mean, this thing is ramping up and getting just. I mean, it's kind of silly. Everybody's here. Every show's here.
We expect that.
Yeah, I know you do.
We expect that.
Right, and it adds to everything you're doing. Is it hard sometimes to stay focused, or how do you do that?
No, definitely. I mean, this has been my life since 21.
Yeah.
Since 21 years old. So it's not hard for me because I know me and I know what keeps me rock steady. But the thing that I'm concerned about is the guys that have never shined.
Sure.
So you want to keep them on an even tempo. Not only those guys, you got to understand some coaches too that has never seen this type of light. So you got to make sure they're rocking steady as well. They don't get on a seesaw and go up and down and be led by emotions.
Yeah. What keeps you grounded with all that?
Jesus keeps me grounded.
Amen.
I mean, God keeps me grounded.
Amen.
God, and you know, I'm not ashamed of the gospel. I'm going to always proclaim my faith in who I stand on.
Amen.
But I'm on assignment here.
Yeah.
This is not a job.
Right.
You know, I'm on assignment, and I love the assignment that God has chosen for me.
Yeah.
I absolutely love it, and I adore it.
Yeah. That game last week. So the week before you had the shootout, 45-42. This week a little bit different feel to it. What wasn't it?
It's personal. You knew that.
Right.
And we knew what would be we knew where it was going to go.
Sure.
We just wanted to get there a little more expeditious than we got there. And we didn't want to keep you guys, you know, on a seesaw like, are they real? Are they not? No, we're genuine.
Yeah.
But we didn't start out great offensively, and it took us a little time to get revved up.
You know, Coach and I were talking during the game, and, you know, you look at Shedeur from game one when he had 510 yards and 4 touchdowns. Awful impressive. The way that Nebraska defended you and what Shedeur had to deal with in terms of the mental gymnastics, give me your opinion. We thought he was more impressive at week 2 than he was in week 1.
Yeah, but a lot of things that he had to deal with was self-inflicted.
Is that right?
You know, you may see him hold. This is my son. I've coached him every bit of the way, so
Sure.
I know what he's thinking. So when he's holding the ball, you think he's just going to say, I'm just going to hold the ball this play. No, somebody ran a wrong route, or it was a assignment that was blown up front, and the protection. Something had to transpire for him to just sit there and hold it during football.
Yeah.
Because he's not like that. He already knows where he's going, pre-snap, read. But we worked it out. We got it worked out, and the defense showed up. I mean, the defense made some tremendous plays. The front four, which everyone discredited, and they said we couldn't stop the run. We went out there and did such, and I'm proud of them.
I was going to say that you got to be pleased with what you saw there, the improvement.
Yeah.
And those guys blocked out the noise from what they heard the week before and came in and really,
they don't care.
Right.
Our kids don't care, man. We're so focused and locked in. We don't care. I mean, they love the attention and they understand what comes with attention is disrespect at times.
Sure.
Because you just can't have one without the other. You know, when there's good happening to you, you're gonna receive some bad. It's just the nuances of life. So they understand that, and we teach them that throughout the week. But I am so proud, not only of the kids, but the coaches and the support staff, because, you know, I'm hearing everything in the headsets, and I'm saying this and saying that, and just to see it come together is unbelievable.
Yeah. Maybe this might be kind of an odd question. I mean, you look at your offensive unit, and you've got a quarterback that makes great decisions, athlete, throws a great ball. Mm-hmm. You've got depth. We're going to have Jimmy Horn Jr., by the way, coming up to our players section.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. I know you're
That's my Florida boy. Jimmy's like another son to me.
Is that right?
I love him to life.
Yeah. But so many weapons out there. Mm-hmm. How would you defend the Colorado Buffaloes?
It's tough.
Yeah.
It's tough because I would make us run the ball, but that's hard because when we go empty and we spread them out, you still got to spread out, and then he gets to choose what he wants to do.
Yeah.
So it would be tough.
What do you tell when you've got that many guys, and between Hunter and Jimmy and Xavier, who's had two great. By the way, Xavier Weaver, first Buff ever to start his career for Colorado with two 100-yard receiving games. Only player to ever do that, huh? Got 170 yards and a touchdown this past week. When you've got that much depth out there, how do you approach it with them so they're all staying happy, knowing that any given game, one guy can have 100 yards?
First of all, any true dog is going to be upset when he doesn't eat.
Is that right?
Okay. You got to understand. I use analogies to really get my point across. Yeah. And we have several dogs out there, receivers. So sometimes they have displeasure, but they know Shedeur don't play favorites.
Yeah.
And that ball does not know favoritism. Get open. If it's his read, he's going to make the correct read. Now, when it's man-to-man, he may have his choice. Mm-hmm. When it's a blitz, an all-out blitz on, oftentimes he's going to go quick fade outside. He's going to go inside. It's going to be something quick. But Shedeur he's going to oftentimes make the right decision and get the ball to the guy that's open.
Our guy Curtis gave me a number today. I want to throw this number at you and get your response to it. The Buffaloes this season on 3rd down and 10. Now, you don't want to be in 3rd and long, from a football standpoint, but at 3rd and 10, Shedeur is 8 of 9 passing on 3rd and 10 for 8 of those. So first downs, Travis has got 4 of those catches on it. Well, what's that number say to you?
He's consistent and he don't waver no matter what down and distance. And you got to understand, a lot of these down and distances we go over. Like, I'm pretty sure it's going to come to 3rd and 4 and 4th and 2 or 4th and 1. That was the plays that I wanted them to go over at the conclusion of practice. At the conclusion of practice, I threw out a couple situations that I want them, not only offensively, defensively, I want us to understand. Ball on the 40-yard line, a little too far to kick the field goal, a little too close to punt. So now you may go for it at that point, depending on how the defense is playing. But we want to be in those situations. I like to know what they're going to call. I like to know how we deal with that defensively, and I like to know those things. Yeah. So a lot of these situations that occur in the game, we see them in practice.
Yeah. So you specifically look for unique situations in a game. So in a game, you don't want them to face that for the first time.
Right. I don't want that to be their first time. Yeah. No, I don't want that to be the genesis of nothing. I want them prepared for that situation. Right. And we go over that stuff.
We hear these comments all the time, and I want to ask you, there's truth in it, I would assume, that you want what they deal with on the practice field to be more intense than what they see in a game. So
that's hard. Yeah. That's hard because it's not known it.
Yeah.
And it's if you sprinkle some fans in the seats at practice,
right,
and then they get judged and they got the possibility of being ridiculed, then it's something to play for. It's something on it.
Sure.
But when it's the same audience out there, just their teammates, it ain't quite like that.
Yeah.
The reason everything is amped up because there's a television camera out there that's seen by millions.
A little different.
And you got a packed house.
Yeah.
So now the intensity level is different.
Hey, you got to tell everybody about the Michael Strahan suits your guys are wearing.
Yeah. Strahan is a true friend, and not only that, a great guy. and my business manager, Constance Swartz, manages him as well. So over the last few years, when we were at Jackson, we did suits. When we travel, we like to look the part. Yeah. So the first game, it was hot. We left 2 days early. So we just wore sweats on the plane, but we looked good doing it.
Oh,
so last week, we wanted to really make an impression on you all. So we wanted the kids to dress up.
That's awesome.
And they wore some new black, tan suits.
They're
right?
tan, right? Yeah.
With the black up on there. And I endorsed ties as well, so we got the prime neckwear. Yeah. So they all had ties on.
Well, you were everywhere right now, you know.
Well, God has been good. Okay?
I saw you.
God is good.
I saw you and the family selling Kentucky Fried Chicken the other day.
Yeah, well, we eat chicken, you know that.
Hey, before we go to break, I do have I'm not a fashion guy. I know that surprises you. I need to ask you a fashion question. Would you mind if I do that here today?
Yes, sir.
So if I were to sit here on stage and I put on sunglasses. And maybe reach down and put my hat on top of that.
I know where you're going.
Yeah, how would you feel about that if I did that?
Is that you?
Is that
Is
sure.
that you? Right?
Yeah,
that's the way you rock.
I just want to make sure you don't feel.
Is that how we know you?
Well, yeah, you know me with the hat on. Sure.
That's right. That's how we know you. So I'm not gonna get in front of you and change who I am just because you're here. Right. I don't do that. I'm consistent with who I am.
I just want to make sure you weren't insulted by me wearing sunglasses.
No, not whatsoever. Oh, Lord, thank you for holding that back. Thank you, Lord.
You know what that is, Sir Prime? That's maturity right there.
It is.
That's maturity.
I want to say a few things, but Lord, thank you. Thank you for holding that.
At 56, he's got the maturity. At maybe 26, maybe he
Exactly.
didn't.
I'm a grown man. You tell me what I'm supposed to wear, what I don't supposed to wear.
Exactly right.
Please.
Yeah. You know what? We like your sunglasses and your hat out here at the show. So,
my eyes are extremely tired. Like I've been up. I get up at 4:30. Yeah. I'm in the office probably by 5. So by this time you see me, I'm worn, So I'm trying to really hide my eyes. Eyes tell everything about a person. That's really why I do it.
So your eyes.
And I look good doing it.
I was going to say that's the real reason there. Come on, man.
Good doing it too.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, the Buffs are getting ready for Colorado State. That's, if you didn't see it, that's where the comment came from a show last night. We'll talk about the Rams on the other side, getting ready for the Rocky Mountain Showdown and another home game for the Buffaloes. Late one this week, not an early one like last week, but an 8 o'clock game. So let's go ahead and take a time out more with Coach Prime after this. It's Buffs Primetime. We're here at the Post Chicken and Beer, and this is the Colorado Football Network. University of Colorado football is brought to us by the Hiltons on Canyon. Are you coming to Boulder for the game? Well, stay at the Hiltons on Canyon, a proud hotel partner of the Buffaloes. Back on Buffs Prime Time, presented by Aflac. And we're here at the Post Chicken and Beer. Come on by here before and after the CU basketball or football game. And they do a great job with their food here. We enjoy being out here every single week. Hey, how does preparing for you, from a mental standpoint, as we continue with Coach Prime, compare from being a player to being a coach?
Totally different.
Is it really?
I mean, because it's you're dealing with the physical aspect of everything, and you so on point mentally as well as when you play. But coaching, you just got to make sure all I's are dotted and T's are crossed because you're overseeing everything. I mean, every darn thing, and you're making in-game decisions that you don't have time to prepare for. Yeah. Prayerfully, that the week of practice prepared you for that, but some things that happen throughout a game, injuries and so forth, that you gotta, you may have to say, remember, we got one corner down. Remember, we got a corner down, because that affects the call on third down for the defensive coordinator. Yeah. So it's so many things that transpire in a game that you have, as a player, you don't have to deal with.
Sure. But being the head guy, you're always trying to think about 5 moves ahead, right?
Yeah,
because, what's it going to be here? Are we going to have to go for it on fourth down?
Yep.
Are you doing that solely yourself? Do you have somebody that you're discussing that
Well,
with?
I have eyes. That show me. I mean, it's little things like, I don't know if you see the cones on the sidelines. Yeah. Like when we put cones on the sidelines, because I like to know, I don't have time to be doing math during the game, okay? Right. I ain't got time for that, and I wasn't really great at that anyway. So I don't have time to calculate where we need to get to make this field goal. Okay. So when I see 3 cones, that represents 3 different kickers. Okay, one kicker can make it from there, and there.
Interesting.
So long as we get to that point, then I could just look at the cone, or Sean could look at the cone, and he say, well, we got 5 more yards to get it to field goal range. So depending on that kicker. Okay. And this is the side of the field that this guy kicks better on, this other guy kicks better from the left hash to right hash. All these things are going through your mind when you're making a drive. But you want to score, but, one thing I always tell Shador, don't lose the field goal. That means don't do nothing stupid. Don't throw a pick down here. Don't lose the field goal, because we got 3.
Right. You know, speaking of Shador, he's taken a number of sacks so far this season. I know that's something you guys got to work on, right? He can't keep taking those kind of hits.
Yeah, we would like to.
Yeah.
You know what he tells me? You
What's
think
that?
I'm trying to get sacked? He says stuff like that during the game. You think I'm trying to get sacked, Dad? Yeah.
But you said something during your press conference on Tuesday. You said it's not always an O-line. Sometimes it's a quarterback thing. Sometimes it's a receiver thing. There's a lot that goes into it.
It's a lot goes into that. It's a lot goes into what happens on each particular play.
Yeah.
It's a lot of moving parts that have to go correctly for us to be productive.
Tell us about the turnover thrown. I'm looking down the field and I'm like, what is that deal down there? And I was asking our sideline guy. The turnover
give me
thrown.
the sponsor. Sam, what's the sponsor? Icy Breeze. We endorse
Okay.
Icy Breeze as well.
Yeah.
It's a wonderful, wonderful cooler it's like a portable air conditioner.
Sure.
It's unbelievable. So they wanted to create a throne. I said, that's a great idea. Let's do that, because I don't like to turn over chains and stuff like that.
Right.
Although I love chains, you know, from Florida. This is like the reason let me break where I always say that word wrong. The reason I wore jewelry, let me tell you. When I was coming up as a kid, drug dealers were looked up to, and they had the big gaudy chains, and they were doing it. I mean, and my city was infested with drug dealers really doing their thing, and that's what all the little girls, the guys, that's all they looked up to. So I said, you know what? I got it. So I vowed when I made it, and that was our peer pressure as a kid, wearing jewelry.
Okay. So
when I made it, I said, I'm going to do the same thing. But I'm going to show them you don't have to sell dope.
Interesting.
You don't have to sell drugs to do it. You could do it this way and not be at fault and not risk your life on a moment of satisfaction, you know, selling drugs. So that's why I really originally started wearing the big chains, because it was just so bad in our community, and that they were the guys.
So even
they
as
were the
a,
role models.
Yeah, even as a young man, you were thinking about what can I do to be on a platform to alter the perception of things, the reality of what it's all
because
about.
I know I had it.
Yeah.
I know I had it, and I know I had influence to really persuade people to do right, or to do wrong. And prayerfully, 9 out of 10 days, I've persuaded them to do right. But that was my initial thought of wearing jewelry, and that was my reason there being. So when you see that, it's not just, I'm not trying to show out. That's just a reminder where I come from and how it was back then.
Love it. That's outstanding.
Yeah.
That's outstanding. Well, we still like the give them a round of applause. That's good stuff.
Yeah.
So we'll be watching the turnover thrown. That thing was getting some activity
It's nice.
last week.
The kids, the young men love it.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Colorado State.
Excuse me?
I said Colorado State.
There you go.
Rocky Mountain Showdown.
One showdown at a time. It's a showdown every week, which I like. You know.
Well, when you're the hunted, it is a showdown every week, right?
I like it. I really like it. I mean, people was talking about, what's this battle rivalry?
Yeah.
I say, well, when it's a rivalry, it has to be something at stake.
Yes.
You just can't call a game a rivalry because we're in close proximity. That's just two neighbors that don't like each other. That's not a rivalry, right? Because ain't nothing. What's at stake? It's something at stake for us,
right?
Yeah, you know, and preferably something at stake for them as well. They're well coached. They're gonna come out there and fight their butts off. It's going to be a tremendously packed house because they're in close proximity, and it should be a good game.
Yeah.
It should be a good game.
I'd like you to talk a little bit to the point you were asked about on Tuesday, and that's the having an African American coach on either sideline. What that means to you?
That means a lot. I mean, that means a lot. I mean, that's not the basis of the game, but that means a lot to look across and say, shoot, I know what he's been through. I know what, the challenge and the trials and tribulations that he had to make to get there, because I know what I've been through. So that's tremendous.
Yeah.
I mean, I got a lot of respect for that.
Well, I mentioned we're going to have Jimmy Horn Jr. in, because he's got class. We're going to flip it. So we'll have Jimmy coming up next segment, and then Sean will be the final segment. But give us a thought or two about, you mentioned he's your guy from Florida. But
I love Jimmy.
Yeah.
Jimmy, you talking about a great young man. Jimmy was actually going to come and play for me at Jackson when he came out of high school.
Okay.
And he chose to go to South Florida. And his dad wanted him to play for me. And he's going to tell you his dad is incarcerated, but he's still a great father. He took a left when he should have stayed right, but they have a tremendous relationship, and he's raised Jimmy right. You talk about a very respectable, kind young man who plays his heart out, and he just wants to make it right for his family. He wants to give his family a way out of the inner city and a way up.
Did I hear you talk about after the TCU game?
Yeah.
You got a chance to talk to his dad?
Yeah. He was coming on a plane, and he's, oh, my God, Pop, Coach Prime is sitting right here. And he was talking to his father from prison, and we're trying to get that for you on the documentary. We're trying to make that happen so you could hear his insight and what a great father he is. And you can't judge a man about where they are, judge a man about where he's going. So don't judge him about where he is right now, because he is a good man. I understand. It's none of us in him without fault. And
None righteous.
He just took a left when he should have stayed right. But he's a great father, and I'm proud of him, man.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, we're excited about the game coming up on Saturday, and I know you're not a big fan of the 8 p.m. kickoff, but
I hate 8 p.m. What are the kids doing all day? I mean, that's the thing. We got to find something for them to do all during day.
Yeah.
That's what makes you mad. I mean, we're practicing tomorrow night. We always do 24 till. We're on the field the same time, and we account for the 24 hours to the kickoff.
Sure.
So we'll practice tomorrow night at 8 p.m. as well.
Well, besides that, at our age, we like to get to bed by about 8:30 or 9 o'clock.
8:30. 8:30. Shoot. I'm up under the covers by 7. Yeah.
Well, have a cup of coffee before this one. Let's have some fun on Saturday
I
night.
appreciate you all. God bless you.
There he is. That's Deion, Coach Prime Sanders. And the Buffaloes have got Colorado State on Saturday night, 8 o'clock. Gary and I are going to hit the air at 6 p.m. out on Duane Field. Come on by and say hi, and then we'll get things underway at 8 o'clock as we welcome in our player guests coming up next. Jimmy Horn Jr. is going to join us after a quick break to our player segment. Still, Sean Lewis will be with us, the offensive coordinator, as well. We're at the Post Chicken and Beer, and this is Buffaloes Primetime presented by Aflac. And you're listening to Colorado football from their field. Every week, the Coaches Show is hosted by the Post Chicken and Beer with 7 Colorado Front Range locations. The Post brews delicious, award-winning beers, fries up the crispiest, juiciest, hot chicken around. Fried chicken and beer go together like black and gold football. Stop by the Post for all your game time provisions and for next week's show. Back here in downtown Boulder on the Colorado Football Network, our program presented by Aflac. We had to flip the coach, the assistant coach, and the player today, so let's welcome up. I love it. Hey, honk the horn. Jimmy's in the end zone. There he is, man. That's Jimmy Horn. Number 5. How's this start to your Colorado career been for you, man? You look like you're having some fun.
Man, I've been having a lot of fun out here. First off, this place, y'all got some good chicken, man. The chicken real good.
Look at that. An endorsement for the Post Chicken and Beer
real
today.
good, man.
All right. Fantastic.
My time in Colorado, it's been good so far. It's been treating me good. Everybody out here friendly. It's a friendly environment, compared to where I come from. It's a very friendly environment, and I like it out here. I can see myself standing out here.
There you go. Huh? You find out, you come here to kind of the Denver Boulder area, and you figure out how nice it is, and you figure, why would I ever leave?
Right.
Yeah. Had you had any experience with the mountains at all?
Yeah, I've been up there with my dog. I got a little dog, American Bully, named 5.
Okay.
I done took him up there to the mountains. We took pictures and stuff.
There you go.
The mountains real nice. That's some things we'll get to see out there in Florida. So I enjoy the
Right.
view every day I wake.
Do you think you might maybe go snow skiing this fall, or this winter, rather?
I've been thinking about it. I just don't want to get hurt doing it.
Yeah, first up, let's make that very clear. You're not going to do that before the season is over, okay?
Right.
Then afterward, you can think about it.
After.
Yeah, I think that'd be fun. Well, Guy, your athleticism, you'd be fine. From a football standpoint, there are those around the country that seem surprised by where this program is sitting right now. What did you see leading up to the season that made you believe what was going to happen?
First off, the coaching staff we got.
Yeah.
We got an amazing coaching staff. The players they brought everybody in with like-minded. So that we kind of already knew what we was going to get ourselves into before we got here. And with the plan the coaches set out for us from the very beginning, from the workouts to everything they put us through, it wasn't surprising to us. As players, we trusted the coaches' plan. The coaches trusted us and put us in positions to be the best. So, after all the hard work we did, I just felt like it was going to be the right situation. We step out.
Coach Prime was out here. I asked him about you, and he said that apparently you considered coming to play for him at Jackson before you were coming out of high school down in
high school
in Sanford, Florida.
Mm-hmm.
You ended up going to South Florida.
Yes, sir.
Right? Then you said, you know what, he's up in Colorado. I got to get there. Tell us about that decision.
In high school, I was supposed to go to Jackson with Coach Prime.
Yeah.
My mom was going all over the place on signing day. I had Georgia calling me, USL calling me, Coach Prime calling me. My head was all over the place, but I had went to USL with my quarterback out of high school because we won states. So I'm like, if I go here with him, we could just carry this connection.
Sure. Yeah.
And everything would be good. But things happen. So we both ended up hitting the portal. He left the middle of spring, I think.
Okay.
He hit the portal. Then I was like, yeah, it's probably my time. So then when I hit the portal, Coach Prime hit me up first quarter. So I was like, it's only right for me to be here because I was supposed to be with you in the jump.
Yeah.
And everything he's saying, they living up to it.
You know, it has to be kind of heady when you're a 16, 17-year-old young man, you're in high school, and Deion Sanders calls you. Right. That's got to be kind of an odd deal, right?
Yeah, because I was having to talk with my pops the day he had called me. I'm like,
Yeah.
we in little old Sanford. Like, Sanford is in the middle of, I ain't going to say it's in the middle of nowhere, but it's just like in the middle of everything.
Is that right?
Like, you would pass by Sanford, you won't even notice it's there.
Little tiny town.
Little tiny town.
Yeah, okay.
I'm like, okay, Coach Prime done called me. I'm like, oh, man, it's a blessing. So, but him and Coach Prime and my pops, they remind me of each other a lot. So
Is that right?
this is another reason why I came here, too. And then plus with Coach Lou, he set up a plan, he showed me, and everything he told me, he living up to it, too. So it's only right.
Tell us about your father. And obviously, tough circumstances as Prime Son is out here. Instead of going left, he went right, made a mistake. But tell us about that relationship right now and what it's like.
Like right now, my pops, he incarcerated. But I always had a good connection with him. I've been with him since I was like 2 years old.
Yeah.
I used to go back and forth with my mom and my dad, but I just mainly chose my dad's side because it was more fun on that side. Like my mom outside, go over there, I'd be crying, ready to go play. Like it wasn't nothing to do for me for real. But when I go to my dad's house, I can have all the fun I want to have.
Yeah.
But it's just been like that growing up. You know, me and my pops, we had a great connection. You know, he always showed me tough love. Like I feel like it ain't nothing that he showed me that I could like struggle to go through. Like he put me through every situation that I needed to be through to succeed in life.
Sure.
That's why he made the sacrifice he did for me to be in the position I'm in now.
We learn from experiences in life, right? And then as fathers, then we can teach our kids. Well, what does your dad teach you about, you know, his life choices and what you need to learn from what he's gone through?
Main thing he just showed me is just like, he just showed me how to like be a man. You know, he just made smart choices in a way that it could affect me in a positive way.
Yeah.
Like he did everything he could do to make sure I was straight. So what he showed me was basically just make sure that, like, as my little sister, my little siblings, like he just showing me how to be a father to them, but as like a big brother.
Yeah.
To like my younger siblings.
Okay.
And stuff like that.
How many brothers and sisters do you have?
5.
5. Are they all younger?
Yeah, they all.
Oh, you're the old guy.
I'm the second.
Oh, number 2. Okay.
Yeah, my oldest sister, she in the military in Georgia right now.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Fantastic. Yeah, are the whole family, are they all athletes?
Nah.
No?
I'm the blessed one that came out. My dad, he always tell me it only took him 10 minutes to make me. That's why I'm fast. Yeah.
Were you always a football player? Did you do anything else? Basketball, baseball, soccer?
I played basketball.
Did you?
I ran track. I wanted to get into baseball, but I never got into it.
Is that right?
Not baseball, but track, football, and basketball are my main 3 sports.
Okay. But it was always football you were going to focus on?
Yeah, football was always
Is that
the
right?
way.
Hey, being a receiver, tell us about catching balls from Shedeur Sanders. What kind of ball he throws? Why he's an effective quarterback for you guys?
I said it back while, like an interview I had a long time ago. I was like, Shedeur, he's pretty smart, and he's very accurate when he throw the ball.
Yes, yeah.
So when he throw the ball, I could just trust him in situations like an out route. You know, sometimes you have that thought in your head, like if I turn out, I might get my head knocked off. Like when he throw it, he know what he's doing. He set you up in good positions, so you won't have to be worried out on the field.
But that makes you a better receiver, doesn't it? Because you're aware, and I remember when Peyton Manning's with the Broncos, I talked to a bunch of receivers. They said the same thing, that when I cut out of my cut, the ball's going to be there. I better be ready.
Right.
That helps you raise your game, then, doesn't it?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
It helps you raise it up to another level because you got to live up to Shedeur standard and plus mine too. So he only expect the best out of you, and he go push it to be better every day.
The depth in that receiver room, Xavier Weaver, who's had a couple of big ball games, Travis, I mean, just go on down the line. That raises all of you guys because you're all talented.
Yeah.
You're competing against each other. That raises everybody's game, doesn't it?
Like with the depth we got in our room, it's amazing, man. Like you could go from Zay, the Trav, the me, the Chick, and then plus we got other receivers that could come in and do the same thing. So it's a lot of trust that's built into it. And when you got multiple people out there that could do a lot of things, and we all complement each other in a great way, so it's hard to guard us as a receiver core. Like I feel bad for teams when they go man coverage.
Yes, yeah. He feels bad for the opposition. Isn't that great? Except on Husker Week, by the way. I never feel bad about them. Who's the fastest guy on the team?
Me.
Is that right? Now, who gives you the greatest competition on being the fastest guy on the team?
Dylan.
Dylan?
And Chick.
Is that right?
Dylan and Chick.
Okay.
Tavares Dawson, number 6.
Yeah. Yeah.
Them
But,
two.
but you're hands down the fastest guy.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about that. If Dylan was sitting here, would he say the same thing?
Yeah, I'm gonna say the same thing. We all got it in our head that we the fastest. We just never like really lined up next to each other and ran.
Okay, all right. Maybe at the end of the season we need to do that. Just to it's like two gunfighters. They got to figure out who's the fastest eventually, right?
Got to.
Maybe that's the deal. Give us a quick thought about Colorado State on Saturday night.
Like Coach Prime said in practice today, it's personal.
Yeah.
At first we were gonna make it a good game, but it's personal now. But Colorado State, they kind of remind me of us. Like at USF, they like a team you can't take easy because you could end up losing to them if you just think it's another game. So you got to treat them as if they was up there too.
That's right.
So we got to treat everybody the same way.
I love it. I love it. Hey, this guy is electric, and we love watching you. Keep up the good work.
Yes, sir.
He's going to win on Saturday.
Thank you.
Jimmy Horn Jr., number 5 for your Buffaloes. Here at the Post Chicken and Beer, we'll take a timeout. Sean Lewis, offensive coordinator, is going to join us next. This is Colorado football from Learfield. His health insurance doesn't cover. Visit Aflac.com to learn more. Buffs and Rams, late 8 o'clock on Saturday night. Again, we'll hit the air at 6 o'clock on the network. Let's welcome the offensive coordinator, Sean Lewis, to the program here at the Post Chicken and Beer. Well, you got to be having some fun on the offensive side of the ball, huh? The numbers are great, and it's probably just a breeze calling plays during a game, isn't it?
Well, it helps when you got really good players like Jimmy that make you look really good, right? You can get it to them in space, and they're able to take a little 5-yard hitch and turn it into a 50-yard gain. I mean, that makes life a little bit easier.
What did you see when you got to fall camp? Okay, you knew you had the guy pulling the trigger that we know is outstanding. I'm going to ask you about him in a moment. But you began to learn the depth of what kind of talent you had. What were you seeing in fall camp?
Yeah, you knew that we had a bunch of individuals as you watched them move through the summer that individually they were talented, right? I think what makes this game so beautiful and a lot like life where a family has to come together and go through adversity and work together to accomplish something great, we need to come together. And it was really cool to see how they came together, how they bonded, and as we tested them as a staff, and as Coach was talking about, we put them in different situations and how their football IQ and their curiosity to learn and to grow. And Coach, why are you calling that in this situation? If I do it like this, is that okay? But do I have the freedom to do it this way in this particular moment? Just their curiosity and their desire to learn and the connection of them interacting. Like you knew we were coming together as a team. You knew they were thinking about the game at a high level, and we were bonding and growing as an offensive unit and as a team collectively that was going to be able to do some special things.
You have gained a reputation of your coaching career as being an offensive, a very high-level offensive guy. Where did the philosophies come from? Who influenced you during your kind of growing period?
Well, I think a lot of those comments and praise are overblown because I've been fortunate to be around really good players.
Sure.
Right? So I hook up with Coach Babers back in 2012, 2013 at Eastern Illinois, and Coach Babers changed my life because growing up on the south side of Chicago, he got the head coaching job at Eastern Illinois, and quite frankly, I went in his office, and the first 90 seconds of the interview, he literally told me to get out, regroup, calm down, and come back in so that I could have an opportunity to actually earn the job because it was my first GA, first full-time coaching opportunity a little bit. I have a tendency to be a little bit high energy every now and again. I have a tendency to talk a little fast.
Sure.
So he's like, hey, regroup, come back. And at the end of the day, we ended up having a really good conversation. He needed a Chicagoland recruiter, and then I learned this style of play, at least the meat of it, from him. And then, again, being fortunate to be around, my high school coach was one of the all-time winningest coaches in the state of Illinois. So playing for, an IHSA Hall of Famer in Gary Crohonen. And then I go and play for Coach Alvarez for 2 years and his leadership and guidance and where he had taken that program, right? And then, Paul Chris was my offensive coordinator at Wisconsin, and getting to sit in a room with him when he was my position coach and OC and hearing how he thought about the game, and then being around Coach Bielema as he took over, and just been very fortunate to be around really, really smart people, to be around really good quarterbacks, and Jimmy Garoppolo at Eastern Illinois that played the game at a high level, so we won some games there, and that led to an opportunity to be around Matty J, who was the Conference Player of the Year as our quarterback, and we won some games there, and so on and so forth. So it's a combination of, these great people and just trying to be a sponge and learn from them and then kind of shape it and make it our own here in Boulder.
Speaking of smart guys, you don't have to be around Shedeur very long to understand he's got a high IQ and a high football IQ. Talk about that relationship and kind of working with him and helping him see what he can become.
Yeah, I mean, it's just been a lot of time on task together, right? You know, to where when we got together, I knew from the beginning and talking with Coach as we were kind of going through this, you know, process of, is this the right move and how do we make this work? And, you know, learning about, okay, obviously there's a special talent at quarterback, but tell me about his process. How does he go about it? And getting a chance to visit with him when we first got here. And from jump, it was, again, this curiosity to learn. So I've heard so much about this. I've watched some of your games on YouTube and, you know, this, that, and the third, right? You know, and so then again, just sitting and spending time on task and knowing, okay, what are his strengths? What does he see? Where can I help him grow with the way that I see the game so that as we're moving through the game and it looks like chaos to everyone on the outside, right? That it's a coordinated and a sophisticated effort to work together to where he knows why in this situation when we're on the plus 32 and I'm calling this, you know, on third and whatever it might be, that through the messaging and the time that we have spent together, he knows that, hey, Coach, thinking about maybe that we got another down to play with here on fourth down, or I don't. So it's all tied directly between the relationship, you know, from top down in the alignment that we have from Coach and our relationship.
So the passing number right now are outstanding. The rushing numbers. Tell us what you see in terms of your offense and running the football.
Yeah, I mean, we got to be more consistent with it, right? And I think when you glance at it, you know, on the surface level, because of the sacks that Coach was talking about and all the pieces that go into that, right? Like that goes into our rushing numbers. When you take away the sacks last week, you know, we averaged 4.8 yards a carry on designed runs, which is very efficient, right? And we talked last week,
you and I did,
about our run efficiency. So each and every single week, we're going to look at and we're going to critique, okay, when we hand the ball off on a run, on first down, if we can get 4 yards or more, that's an efficient run. If it's a second down call, say it's 2nd and 8, right? Or we want to be able to get on that run 70% of the yardage to gain. That's an efficient run. If we hand the ball off on third down, that's an efficient run if we get a first down. Fourth down, we got to get the first down. So we want to chart run efficiency. I think it's really easy to look at a number. Hey, you guys only rushed for X number of yards. Yeah, that's a true statement, but that's just very surface level and it doesn't tell the whole story, you know, to what's going on. So our run efficiency is really good, but we need to be more consistent as we move through this because we need to have a major punch but a counter punch, and we need to continue to develop that.
In the last, we're about 50 seconds out here, last 30 seconds. Give us a quick scouting report on CSU's defense.
They're the next gray, faceless opponent. That's a 4-2-5 structure that likes to live in a single high shell, play cover 3, cover 1, and it's going to be an exciting game on Saturday night.
That was pretty good, wasn't it? What did you say? A gray shell? Is that what you...
They're a gray, faceless opponent. I happen to be the next gray, faceless opponent. And it's their fault that they're going to be on that far sideline.
There you go. There you go. Sean, good luck on Saturday.
Thank you.
There's your offensive coordinator for the Colorado Buffaloes, Sean Lewis. See you. The Buffs are going to take on Colorado State on Saturday night, 8 p.m. Again on the network. We'll hit the air at 6 out of Dwayne Field. Come on by and see Coach and me, and then we'll get things underway at 8 o'clock. Our thanks to the Post Chicken and Beer and all of you for joining us out here. Thanks for being with us in the program. This is Colorado Football from Learfield.